Following on from our previous video on having an abdomen wax as an add-on feature in a waxing service for your clients, today we're going to be discussing and demonstrating a buttock wax, which is also an add-on service. It's not part of an intimate wax or a full leg wax. It's something that you need to add time and cost if your client requests. So today I'm going to demonstrate how to do a buttock wax, and you want to be adding approximately 10 to 15 minutes onto your booking time for this and cost it appropriately for your overheads and product cost. First of all, when you're doing a buttock add-on, the first thing we're going to look at is posture of the client. Now, if you want a very fast way of doing a buttock wax, then getting your client on their hands and knees is probably your quickest option. I'm going to show you an alternative that actually clients are a little bit more comfortable with, and it might require just a couple of more minutes time, but it is a lot more comfortable for your ladies to do. I'm going to be using two different types of wax during the treatment. I'm going to use some strip wax on the more taut and flat areas, and then I'm going to introduce the use of peelable wax for the areas of the skin that I want to make sure they're protective, and also the areas of the skin that tend to be quite reactive. So you can experience breakouts on the buttock area. So we're going to use peelable wax for there so that we don't upset the skin in any way. So we're going to be working on one side and then the other. Basically, the perimeter of what would be classed as the buttock area is a wide underwear line. So approximately where I'm demonstrating here. But if our clients have any hair on the top of the thigh, then we're able in this position to be able to remove that as well. So we're not going to go out any wider than the outside width of the underwear, because this becomes leg area. So for the buttocks, it will just be here. So we're going to go straight in for our preparation with our gel cleanser. And after doing the gel cleanser, we'll do the botanical oil. So that we're preparing the skin, we're softening, hydrating, ready for the hair to be removed. And then we're going to tissue off the excess. And it's a good opportunity now that the hair's been wet with product to actually look at the direction of growth of the person you're walking on. So my lady, you can probably not quite see the hair on the camera, but her hair growth is coming up, and not everyone's hair follows the same pattern. So it's quite key. This hair down here is also growing up. So my applications are going to be coming up with a removal to go down. So we'll start with our strip. On these tauter, flat areas, we get a good application. And as we come inwards, and we can see a little bit on the skin here, it does tend to be a little bit reactive due to how we sit, moisture within the clothes. So we want to try and make sure that we use the peelable wax on those areas so that we don't irritate the skin and trigger a response, which might be some inflamed, irritated follicles. So this hand is active here doing the stretching for me, always making sure you're consciously stretching everywhere. So we can now go with a nice generous application of our peelable wax. I'm using the Outback Organics Opal. And just make sure you're still supporting and stretching the skin throughout the entire removal. And we're going to go another one of those just a little bit closer in. And we can use our hand here to lift and stretch just so we can get to all the areas. Just make sure you're fully supporting all the way down. So that's one side of our buttock wax done. We can do a gel cleanse and put our post care on, and then we're going to turn our lady over and do exactly the same on the other side. Okay. Yeah. So now I'm going to repeat the process on the other side, just checking out the direction of growth. They don't always match, so don't assume that one side will be the same. But as it happens with my lady here, all of her hair is growing up. So I'm going to use this taut, flat outer area to use some strip wax. And today I'm using the Outback Organics Amber. And then we'll move on to using our peelable wax. And today I am using the Outback Organics Opal. And we can do one more of those, just slightly more inside. So sometimes the wax will split. If the skin's a little bit cold, don't worry too much. And any residue wax, we can just use a little bit of botanical oil, and that will remove that before we do our aftercare. So just to recap on a service like an abdomen or a buttock wax, these are an additional. They are an add-on service that you are doing for your clients, and as such, they are chargeable. So please make sure that you're working out your product cost and your extra time that you're putting in, and it does go onto your menu as an additional cost.